up.
All right, we're back again.
Hell yeah.
We are back for another episode of Bikes and Brews.
We're chatting about new Campy group sets, and you know what goes well with Campy? A peanut butter milk stout.
So we just finished our last episode about gyros, so we thought Campy would have been like a nice thing, even though Campy really wasn't there.
Tulio Campagnolo once said he absolutely loved the
Oh, sorry.
Belching Beaver peanut butter flavored milk stout.
Oh, flavored milk stout. When they say flavored, it's never a good sign. They don't say... Okay.
It's nice and cold. This one's cold.
This one's cold.
Yeah, we did have a refrigerator for this.
Peanut butter milk stout does not go.
We had a cooler with ice in it.
But introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Ryan.
I'm Carl.
It's Carl.
I'm RJ.
Jackhammer. So, okay, we got the Belching Beaver here.
Nice.
I don't like peanut butter stuff that much. I like peanut butter, but when they put it in soup, like different things, like peanut butter whiskey, I'm not... Oh my god, that is dark.
That's thick.
It doesn't
It's
taste
thick with 2 C's.
No K's.
No, not a single K in sight. Wow, it's got a lot of head.
That's good.
Jesus, that smells like a peanut butter sandwich.
Oh, wow. That is straight up peanut butter.
Carl was not stoked for this.
I'm not. This cannot be good. I want to be surprised, but I don't have a lot of faith.
At least it's cold. Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
The fuck?
I'm trying to start this tight.
That's not what I expected at all.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not good, but it's not bad.
You like
For how much head it had.
It smells strong of peanut butter, though. That is a strong smell of peanut butter.
It's more smell than taste, though.
Yeah. Carl's
It's enough there.
No.
I will admit it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be,
You didn't like the cartoon
but it's
beaver?
not good. It's not
You
good.
don't want a beer with a cartoon beaver on it? In a heavy
That's
peanut
more than a hint of peanut butter.
Yeah. I can smell the peanut butter on my breath.
I know. I can't get away from it. Like, it doesn't have a strong flavor, but it's the smell and everything. Like,
an
that whole experience. It doesn't go away. It lingers around a lot.
And it's not peanut butter. It's more like peanut.
I mean, it's a milk stout, so you're going to have that creamy...
It's like a milk fish.
But that's in the background. The peanut butter's kind of taken over.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's weird to have that peanut butter flavor when there's really not any of that going on.
It doesn't. To me, it doesn't have
I don't
that.
feel like a golden retriever drinking this.
Does it stick to the roof of your mouth?
Maybe they should have done the nitro in it like
Ugh.
Guinness did.
The nitro smooths it out.
I would think.
It doesn't, but the thing is this is not particularly...
But that might be a
Harsh.
bad thing because it's already peanut butter. So if you add that creaminess, the peanut butter might
You'd
be
have to
even
chew
more.
it.
It kind of might be like,
Yeah. Yeah, the golden retriever.
yeah.
Red retriever would do it faster, though.
I like the smell of it more than the taste of it.
All right, we're gonna hide
They
the
should make a
alcohol
candle.
content and let
me go for
our
it.
producer.
Yeah, they should make a candle out of that.
Yeah, because I don't need to be the. Because then we get 3.
My girlfriend
They
would
should
hate
make
it.
a candle out of this beer. All right, guess what the alcohol content in that thing is?
6?
I don't think it's much. I'm gonna say.
I was going to guess, 6.
I'm gonna say 5.2.
6.1.
Well, going the price is right there.
Wow.
I think it's higher than 6, but I'm not sure how much.
What'd you say?
I said 6.
6?
5.2.
5.2. You all lose. No, you said 5.2?
Uh huh.
It's 5.3.
5.3.
okay.
Oh, check you out.
Okay.
A macho. Anyways, I think it's okay.
I don't think I could drink any more of that than I already have.
Yeah, you drink one.
At the most.
I think I've had an eighth of one.
I think one's gonna
You
be struggle.
drank the most.
Yeah.
No, I didn't pour much.
No,
Yeah, he poured
you
the
most
least.
out of it.
Oh, okay.
Did he?
Yeah, I watched. You can
Oh.
play it back.
Run that shit back.
Okay.
Okay, well, Tulio Campagnolo's favorite beer.
No,
We
it's a
never-
rating for the beer. We
Oh.
didn't rate.
Oh shit, we didn't rate the other one.
We didn't either, huh?
God damn it.
Damn it. Son of a bitch.
What are we if not for...
We suck at this game.
God damn it. Thumbs down to the previous video and tell us what a piece of shit we are.
Yeah, we're horrible at this game.
Terrible. I'll give that a 7.
Wow.
No, so
Siete.
the previous one I was going to say is probably my favorite if it were cold, and I was going to give that a 9.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever given a 9. I thought that one was...
You did.
All right, I'm
Okay.
going to skip me
That's fine.
because I think I'm going to be
did
way
the
down.
G-force.
Oh, yeah, okay. That was early on, though.
Yeah.
What are you giving that?
I'll give that a 6.
Wow. You guys are like party on. Pour me some of this.
No, I don't want more of it.
Tailgate Party 2025.
No, I would have given the
Speakeasy
previous
Tailgate 2K25.
The other lager, I think that was a pretty good one, so I would have given that an 8 probably.
I would have given that a 9, I think.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Look at that. Me and Carl agreed on Swing for once.
I know.
Fucking
huh?
look at us.
Look how
This one?
stupid he is,
Who'd
too.
have guessed?
I'm going to give this a 3.
Oh, wow.
You really
I don't think it's
I don't like it.
I think a 3 is offensive. I don't think you would.
It is offensive.
Okay.
I would not drink that again.
Okay.
The Belching Beaver does not deliver.
I have to find stuff you don't want.
I feel like if there was a beer that they served at Chuck E. Cheese, that would be it.
Yes. And I cannot stand the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese, and that would go right with it.
I don't think I've had that since I was in like the 2nd grade.
It's the worst thing ever.
That I don't.
Well, you don't have kids.
No.
Oh,
Thank God.
that's what you take kids to do when they're young.
Yeah, that's bad.
And then you find out it's really bad.
This is Donald Trump's America. You take him to a strip club.
No, good point.
The library.
To see his wife.
Oh, I'm getting deported.
Yeah,
Actually, you are. You're kind of brown.
I am. I'm that mysterious. Like we don't care. We're gonna lock him up no matter what.
Yeah, kind of. I keep my papers on me at all times just in case.
Oh, just in case. Just in case.
All right.
All right. So let's talk about Campy.
Yeah.
They
so,
were okay. We all admit it. They're pretty much down in the dirt, down in the gutter. They're hating it.
I mean, they're above. I think they're above wheeltop.
They're yeah. Oh,
You
if
can you can buy a bike with Campy on it.
you can buy stuff with wheel top on it.
Let me rephrase. You can go to a bike shop and purchase a bike with Campy on it.
True.
On purpose.
You usually have to spec it though.
Yeah, but
Not to be floor models come with
But-
Campy on it.
Specialized had an Athos that came with Campy that was like the Mike Sinyard special that was $18 bajillion.
I must have missed that one.
Canyon had a bunch of models that spec'd Super Record on it because Roman Arnold, who owns the place, is like a Campy guy. And also because the Movistar team bikes.
10 years ago it was totally common, but now you
Sure.
never see it.
Yeah, no, now you really don't. You can get
You can get a-
Colnago, Pinarello, and
Willier.
Bianchi and Willier all with Campy as well.
Yeah, I knew
But
that.
that's because if they don't, the companies will be shut down by the Italian government. As a matter of national pride.
I mean, realistic. The whole reason why we're talking about this is because we just saw some leaked photos. Not really leaked. There were some photos at this year's Giro showing the newest, what everybody's saying is coming out, Campy Super Record, which was 13 speed.
2x13, which is unique. Because SRAM has 1x13 with the Axis Explorer that we saw at the Classics. Campy is the first
Oh, I see.
manufacturer
No,
to
I'm
go-
talking about road gearing or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I guess okay, but you get my point.
The other one is at Unbound yesterday. There was a bunch of photos of some yet to be announced, released, or otherwise off-road versions of a 2x13 group set as well.
I think that it's inevitable that's going to happen. Wasn't Rotor originally on 13 speed, or was that 12?
Rotor was 1x13. They never had a 2x13.
They didn't?
I don't think there's been a commercial 2x13. Because if you want to get really into the weeds, you could actually set up a couple of the SRAM mechanical group sets to go to 2x13
Including wheel top.
with no,
Yeah.
technically, yeah.
For L2, yeah.
If you want to ship
Yeah.
your chain every time you shift, but
Whoa.
No, with SRAM's mechanical, there was a company out of the UK called Ratio Technologies that would sell you a new ratchet mechanism,
Oh, yeah.
and they would go ahead and let you go to other more speeds.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, that's not really it.
I'm digging where they're going. I mean, the last generation that was a flop. I think they lost big direction when they went to their newest, where they put both the buttons on the brake lever, and then they did a bunch of other stuff. It just seemed like they had lost their direction. I mean, they'd been losing their direction, but they really went. They tried to recover and come about face and completely revamp the whole line, and I think nobody liked that direction that they were going in.
Well, and for a brand that really tries to sell themselves on heritage, to go ahead and get rid of like the one thing that they had pioneered and told everybody was the best ergonomically for the last God knows how many decades, to then go ahead and be like, look, we're wireless and electronic, and we put our shifters down here. Can you buy us now?
Yeah, we're like everybody else. Well, okay, does that mean a good thing?
Well, in their case, God, no. I mean, if you're going to buy...
Well, originally the idea was that with the thumb shifter is like...
You can be a snob at a bike shop.
Well, no, the ergonomic part of it is like you have one button only does one thing. And so like the lever below the brake lever sends it up the cassette, and the thumb shifter sends it down. There's no, like SRAM, it's the double tap, like push it in and then push it in more, then it goes the other way.
That was mechanical. SRAM doesn't do any mechanical road anymore.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, that was the, because, I mean, this is back when everything was mechanical. That's, you know, Campy had the thumb shifter, and it was like, when you go down, you ratchet all the way down, it'll drop like 3 or 4 gears, you know?
Which I never understood people's argument of that being excellent, because I've never been riding and been like, wow, I wish I could go into 3 harder gears than this
right away.
Well, right now.
If you're descending, it works the other way.
I need to go from 105 to 65 cadence right now.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, I mean, I've been a Campy rider. When it was mechanical 11-speed, I thought Campy had something really unique going. The ergonomics were really nice.
I rode the last. Well, I don't know if it was the last, but I rode their mechanical 11-speed group set, and what I will say is, every time you did a gear shift, it was like the most mechanically satisfying
tactile
sound.
Yeah.
It was like a bolt action rifle.
Yeah.
It was.
And I liked the hoods. I liked how they were like a little bit canted in, so they're ergonomically and everything. And like
you could kind of hook yourself around.
And even then, like the grips felt like you were holding a pistol. Like Shimano's were like holding a. Oh yeah,
getting ready for a sprint with that mechanical Campy group set was like you were prepping artillery fire. Like it was, there was definitely something about it, but But nowadays, I feel like even their shift logic of basically the little teeter-totter mounted behind the brake lever to where it's literally like up or down is just, if I had to wear gloves and use that, I would always be in the wrong spot. Like ergonomically, they went from being probably the most intuitive to being the most vague. And it was just because they're like, okay, well, everybody already has their shifters oriented this way, so what's left?
Right, and I think that's what's interesting about the one they just leaked. It's 13-speed, and they've always taken the pride that they were on the front of technology and innovation, and they haven't had that reputation probably in the last 10 years or so. And
which I feel like is a little bit unfair, because they were the first to 2x12.
Yeah.
And then SRAM.
I think 11, too. Weren't they the first to 11?
I don't know. I was new.
I want to say yes, but you guys can comment and correct me if I'm wrong.
I got into cycling.
Yeah, that's true. I had 11-speed. I had a 11-speed Campy, and I really liked it, and I still do.
I went from an 8-speed shitter to 11-speed mechanical Ultegra.
Okay.
It was a big jump.
That is a big jump.
Wow. So how do you feel about it? Like their new stuff that they just shown.
What would they have to do to get you to switch?
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think it did good enough to get you back?
They would have to give me
HJ. Because it used to be Campy and Shimano. Now it's Campy and SRAM and a bunch of Chinese ones that are coming, but they're not there yet. What do you think would put Campy back in the spotlight? Do you think there's room for 3, or do you think they'd have to knock somebody out, or do you think there's no way and chance?
I think there's probably room for 3 as long as they dial in the shifting and it's as good as SRAM or Shimano.
Better ergonomically, everything.
Yeah, there's going to be parts of it that are going to be really good, and there's going to be parts of it that aren't that good. So as long as they
I will say they have the best brakes of all of the current group sets.
Do you like it better, Shimano?
I actually just put their brake rotors on my bike.
That's interesting.
Notably better than the Dura Dura-Ace ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
They just feel better. They feel more solid. Like the Dura-Ace and the Hopes I was running, it felt like they're and
I thought you had Magura. It was Hope?
Hope, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Magura is actually who made Campy stuff.
Yeah. That's why I thought, like, well, okay, that's no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason I went to Campy Rotor was because I wanted to try the Magura stuff.
Okay.
And I know Magura did all the design, so I was just like,
Sure.
I'll try theirs.
Okay.
So, no, I've been super happy with the rotors. I'll probably end up ordering a set of Magura's brake calipers to throw on there also, just to try those. But, no, I mean, their brakes, as far as I'm concerned, are the best there is.
Better than Shimano?
Yes.
And why is that?
Better feel, better modulation.
So it doesn't have that on-off switch as much as Shimano? It doesn't
Yeah,
have that vagueness
which
of
I will
SRAM.
say, Dura-Ace 9200 compared to 9100 is better modulation than before.
Okay.
Because they added their servo wave thing where it kind of changes the progression.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Okay.
I would say if Campy wants to go ahead and market something they're already, in my opinion, best at, the brakes.
Do you think they are going to make a comeback with what they're doing?
I've heard they've had a big change of staff, and they have a lot younger workforce now. And I know, well, I had heard a rumor that they're currently shopping around World Tour teams. They want 2 or 3 teams next year.
Well, they got Cofidis now.
Woohoo!
I know.
Great.
Don't they have, aren't they getting Movistar? Or
They had Movistar who went to SRAM.
they lost them.
Yeah, they lost them to SRAM, but I don't think that...
Are they going back, maybe?
I think SRAM's giving Movistar money.
Mm.
And I know Campy's going to be in a position where they've got to go ahead and pay whatever team they're going to.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm paying a team, I'm not paying Movistar.
Well, there's worse.
What
There's
if
worse.
they won?
Cofidis is worse.
No, hey, Cofidis is worse.
Yes.
But I feel like Cofidis was the most approachable way back in.
Don't you think Canyon's probably part of that equation as well?
Oh man, could you imagine a world where Matthew Vanderpool has to ride Campy?
Oh, that would be bad. Seeing as he's sponsored everything by Shimano.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting because he does ride.
So that would be, I think, too big of a pull.
That'd be hard.
Financially, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be really tough to. So it seems politically that'd be really tough.
I think, and I don't know what the status is with the agreement, but I remember Ineos was one of the teams that was actually a Shimano-sponsored team. But I know that they run a lot of things that aren't too sponsor correct.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some
Something
opportunity
wrong.
there, because Ineos wants money. And the whole rumor right now is Remco's going to Ineos. And they're going to have to go ahead and pay for that somehow.
Well, they freed up the
Pidcock money.
Pidcock money, yeah. Garrett Thomas is done. There's some money there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, the rumor was that getting Pidcock over to Ineos is going to cost 10 million euros. Which is fucking wild. Because they have to pay for the €5 million salary that he has with Quickstep to get him out of that.
Right.
And then they've got to go ahead and have his $5 million.
It makes the most sense. I mean, he's definitely not going to go to, like, specialized bikes. You know, like a team with specialized on it. That's not going to happen.
Well, that's the other question is, if Remco goes to Ineos, Remco is personally sponsored by Specialized, so does Ineos leave Pinarello and bring Specialized financing with him?
That happened with
that
Sagan.
would be a huge shakeup.
That happened
Well,
with Sagan
and the
10 years ago.
other one that's floating around right now is Total Energies is going to pull their money out of the current Total Energies team and go in with Ineos. But apparently there's some bickering because Total Energies, the largest company in France, wants the team to be under a French UCI license. And you've got what's his name? Jim Ratcliffe, who owns Ineos, who was a big figure behind the Brexit movement, probably doesn't want to go ahead and have his team be under a French license.
Yeah,
There's so many different things that could happen there.
So the question is, would we then get an Italian group set on Specialized with Remco on it and Ineos?
That would never happen. There's no way Specialized is going to put Campy on their bikes.
Oh, Sigurd loves Campy.
It would be awesome if it did, though.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Anyway.
So here's the other one I'm curious. I mean, obviously it's off our Campy topic, but Wheeltop owns Rotor now.
Oh yeah, that's another one.
So do we
start seeing Wheeltop in the
how
tour?
far away from a world tour team are we?
I think we're like 3 or 4 years with
Wheeltop and Rotor, because
Yeah.
didn't
because Wheeltop doesn't make a flagship at the level of Dura-Ace and Super Record and Red.
but
So
how long would it take them to do it?
I think
10
it would.
minutes?
No, I know. I think it would take them like
Punch
a
it
year
into
or two
AI
to come
and be
out
done
with a
quick.
product, and then they would want to.
Because I mean, think about it. They make an Ultegra equivalent, right?
Well, it's like a 105 equivalent.
Okay. The difference between Ultegra 105 and Dura-Ace is 105 has bushings, Ultegra has bearings.
Right.
And then instead of having
No, I'm not talking about within
aluminum
Shimano.
and steel, you go to Dura-Ace and now you've got some aluminum and titanium.
I think Wheeltop's just too new. They're too new. They have too many bugs to still sort out and everything like that.
Okay, how do you feel about XDS? They're pretty new. They have Astana. Oh, XDS wheel top?
I don't think Wheeltop's in a position to make that big of a move. I think they're as a company.
Because
they're
I
a
think
few
that
years out.
I think the biggest thing that held them back before was the fact that they didn't have a complete group set. They bought Rotor. Now they have cranks that are already well proven. They've got cassettes. They've got all that shit.
Yeah, but it's not at the pinnacle of racing anymore.
Until it is.
Yeah. Who are they going to take over then? EF?
I think they have some
That'd
work
be
to do.
hilarious.
I agree.
That would be very,
American bike with a Chinese group set.
Can you
That would
imagine?
be the most sponsored by McDonald's.
Cannondale with.
Cannondale wheel top, baby.
Oh my gosh. Well, Cannondale Campy. Like, what is more far fetched?
I was gonna say put Quinn Simmons on it. Oh, that'd be great.
Trek. Wow.
Trek.
Yes.
Trek.
No,
Anyways.
Trek's got big money behind him now because they've got SRAM money, they've got Trek money,
No, that's why they're not going to.
they've got
not
Lidl
moving.
money, they got that grocery money, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
The big money.
So, do you think Campy's coming back?
I hope so, but probably not.
I think they're.
I'd love to see it.
I think from a retail point of view, I think they're still priced too. They can't justify their price still.
My problem is I look at their entire positioning of the product line. They just got rid of Chorus,
Yeah,
which is like Shimano getting rid of Ultegra.
Chorus is more like 105 though.
Okay,
Maybe
they also
maybe.
got rid of Record.
Yeah, they got rid of Wreck. That was a weird one. That was a
Okay,
really
so
weird
Shimano gets rid of 105 and Ultegra and just has Dura-Ace and Dura-Ace Light, which we're going to call Super Record S.
The whole
Which I
lineup
thought
needs to
Super
figure-
Record Light was Record, but apparently that's not the case.
It's like in between somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, they did Light, and that's I think going to get rid of Record. But then so what's taking place?
Never
of
mind,
Core?
we've got
Athena.
Potenza, Athena,
Yeah.
and Centaur.
Well, Potenza was supposed to be their like metal only.
Yeah, so was Centaur.
I know it's a mess.
It's available in silver.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares?
Yeah. Anyways, I think they're still priced out of the market. They can't justify the pricing. Before it was even a stretch, even with 11 speed, they were significantly
Well, and if
more.
they're-
Now it's still significant.
And if they're gonna be as expensive as they've been, sustainably, they need to be better.
yes, they need to have better customer service. They have customer support. They have to
Or
work
just
with the
parts.
shops because, like,
I'll say there just needs to be brake pads at my local bike shop.
yeah, and the bike shop needs to have the tools to work on your bike.
Well, and I was gonna say before, all the shops had the tools to work on Campy
Right,
because it was expected because they were a big player.
right.
Now
Nobody cares.
Nobody gives a shit. So okay, you better start working on interoperability and making sure that it's easy to maintain because otherwise, if the owner experience is shit and it costs more than the two big brands,
You have to get all those things in line, and that's I think
yeah.
because I think they might have a good product, but that doesn't matter if they don't have those other things in line. They don't have the pricing. They don't have, because they still have proprietary hub. They have a proprietary way to install the cranks, like all this other
Oh, yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're cassettes, they're everything.
Everything. It's a nightmare, and so it's like
The only way they could stiff arm the shops is if they started getting OE deals, and then those brands basically just required the shops to be able to service them.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, well, all of Canyon comes with it, so if you want Canyon, then there's got to be something like that, which I don't.
Which
see
wouldn't
that's
get you
not
into
gonna-
any shops because they're direct to consumer.
Right. And I don't think that's going to happen either. Even if they did get a shop like a Trek to do it, it's not going to happen.
No, because you're not going to get a Specialized or Giant.
Right.
Because, I mean,
Pinarello maybe, but even then, there's not enough Pinarellos in the shops at dealers.
No, that's one thing they struggle with right now. That's one brand where I think they have 2 actual like flagship showrooms. They've got one in New York.
But it's still considered like it's hard to get a Pinarello straight off the rack. Most people are really specific about what they want on those kind of bikes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, let's wrap this one.
All
up.
right, we can.
I think we can bigger out this one, but I like what they got going on. I just don't know if it's enough. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, like and subscribe. We're out of here. Tell us what you think. Write a comment about Campy.
Tell us about how it was so good right as you got back from Vietnam.
All right, we're out of here. Peace.